what made me pick this game to speedrun? It's actually an interesting story. So I first ran this. Oops, shit, pause the time. I first ran this game. Let me think. It was, I believe, 5 years ago. That's when I first, like, that's when I got into speedrunning. Prince of Persia and all that. That's like when I first started, and I always loved this game. It's absolutely fantastic game. For my taste at least. And after all, speedrunning is about spending more time with a game you love, but just in a different way, you know, giving it kind of a twist, making it interesting. Again, if necessary. So I started roughly 5 years ago. I was playing through the campaign quickly to see how the run would be like, because back then nobody ever did a run of this game. And when I routed things, I still remember I was on my old laptop, things lagged as shit, but I was just, you know, I just want to see how it could go, how fast the run could be, what strats and so forth. And when I finished playing through the campaign, I noticed that I skipped one of the chapters somehow. It was chapter 6, the autoscroller, the military autoscroller. And I was like, I completed the campaign, but chapter 6 was unchecked. I didn't do it, and that was kind of weird. That's when I found the huge skip that gets us from chapter 1 to chapter 8 directly. That glitch in the game, which lets you skip all these chapters. And of course, after I found that, the run was suddenly, like, even unrouted, even if it did it blindly, just by knowing the base game, the 80% run was, what, 20 minutes or so? That's incredibly fast, especially for real-time strategy or world building or whatever. So I did my first 80% runs back then. And it's also when I stopped, like 2015 I started and I stopped again. I didn't run the game for many years. And only this year, because the History Collection came out, the remaster, which performs way better. Just general game performance. I decided to pick it up again, because in the meantime, some other people have run the game. Have done a lot of the ILs, like the individual chapters. There were a lot of cool strats. So I came back to the game, and indeed I was the first one to do a run, let me quickly find it, a run of the full campaign. Oops. There it is, of the full campaign. Like, do not use the skip chapter 1 to 8. Which is a really fun run. I'm having tons of fun with it. So that was my main goal. Be the first one to do a full campaign run and get down the 80% time, because although my 80% time was beaten like 2 or 3 years after I initially got it, the time still wasn't good. It was better. It wasn't terrible by any means, that's not what I'm saying, but there were still a lot of strats to be found or to be implemented. So that's why I'm also doing 80%. I am the current world record holder. World record time is, as you see here, 9:42. It's actually crazy. I never would have thought that this run gets sub 10 minutes ever. But after thoroughly rerouting and finding new strats and everything, we really pushed down the time a lot. That's cool. Anyways, that was the story of me and Anno 1404. I hope you enjoyed.